This is Pod Populi.
Podcast for the people.
The Great Love Debate. It's the Great Love Debate.
The Great Love Debate. It's the Great Love Debate.
Hey everyone, quick little prologue to this one. I'm recording this in the summertime. Sometimes summertime is known as rerun season. This isn't necessarily a rerun, it's a revisiting of an episode that I released 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago from the time that I am speaking right now. And 3 years ago, the world was in a weird place. And one of my favorite episodes that we do on this show is a feature called Exes and Uh-Ohs. And we have not done one in a while. And I'm going to release one that we did once before for two reasons. First of all, it is co-hosted by my friend Jill Kimmel, Jimmy's sister, who's just as talented and just as funny. And secondly, when I recorded this, I remember she came into the studio and she had just gotten something called a COVID shot. She felt so liberated because she's like, oh, it's a life changer for me. And we can debate what that did for anybody overall, but it was a different time then. A lot of people were revisiting old relationships, which is one of the themes of this episode. I think you're going to enjoy it. If you have heard it before, that means you are a very, very loyal listener of the Great Love Debate because this is over probably 3.5 years ago, and I really appreciate that. If you have not heard this one before, oh boy, are you going to like it. So without further ado, here we go. Hi again, everyone. It's Brian Howie. Welcome to the Great Love Debate, the world's #1 dating and relationship podcast since 2015. You guys have been waiting for this episode for a long time. We haven't done it in a while. It's time to play one of our favorite things around here, Exes and Uh-Ohs. And if you guys, let me talk about why this one's going to be really good. It's because over the last year, a lot of people have been spending either way too much time communicating with their exes or thinking about their exes. And a lot of that was because of COVID and people got bored and they were shut down and they were either reminiscing or thinking about things or whatever. So if you guys don't remember what Exes and Uh-Ohs is, it's where we ask you guys to send us in emails. Some of you send them via Facebook or whatever, that if you had one more thing to say, one more conversation to have with your ex in search of the elusive closure, this would be the thing you wanted to say. And you guys sent us some crazy fucking shit. Like the stuff that you guys are thinking about in terms of your exes, the stuff that you guys hold on to, the stuff that you want to know is really nuts. So I sifted through a bunch of them, but I always have to have a pro to do this. The reason we don't do this more often is because I don't have a worthy co-host all the time in the house to handle it. But fortunately, I have somebody who I have some access to before she flees to California. We're taping this in Arizona, but she's one of the only people leaving Arizona for California. Everybody else from California is moving here. She's a comedian. She's a bon vivant. She's known as Jilly Pie, back by popular demand. Jill Kimmel.
I am known as Jilly Pie. Thanks for letting everybody know.
Yeah,
Hi, guys.
she was back. Probably like 5 or 6 episodes ago, and people are like, you need to have her back on. And I'm like, I don't want to have her back on to talk about her personal life.
So nice.
I
like
need to have her back
it.
on to talk about your personal life.
So this is so much better. Like this, I won't end up in tears. I might, depending on how deep I get into character, I might end up in tears here. We'll see.
So do you understand the rules here? You understand how this works?
I do, but maybe should you explain it for those who don't?
So I'm going to, so I have 3 that we chose that were from the guys. And you have 3 that we chose that are from the girls. You are going to read those to me as if you were this troubled ex-girlfriend. I'm going to answer them as if I were their boyfriend, and vice versa.
Right.
And you can take whatever tone you want with them. I don't care. You can say, you're an idiot, fuck off. I don't care how you handle this. I don't know how much you get caught up in character. And if something triggers you inside, have at it.
So I do get caught up in character. So I feel like I'm going to just kind of do this, like one of those mediums or somebody would just kind of open your brain to the vibe. And I'm going to, like, when you read
Feel
this
their pain.
real letter from real people to me, I'm going to try to, like, get into why I really think that the girlfriend may have done this, whatever the question is.
Right. And some of you sent in like 3 pages. Some of you were like, this is not therapy. Some of you wrote like 3,000
like,
words on it.
Dear sir
I'm like,
or madam.
Right. So if this is the last thing you wanted to say to your ex and it was like 3,000 words, you might want to get an editor because they don't want to hear it. And it's not going to help
they're
you.
your ex.
Yeah, I know. They really are like, oh my God, this is so, get to the point. Your ex has a date, so they need to get on with it.
You're cruel. You go right for the jugular.
So would you rather serve or receive?
I will receive.
You will receive.
Name that tune.
Okay, there we go. This one is from Jonathan from Duluth, Georgia. And let me spell Jonathan out for you.
Spell it, because I have a brother named Jonathan. So
how does he spell it?
The right way.
Okay. JOHNATTHON.
Okay,
there's like 3 errors in there.
I'm going to just tell you she broke up with you.
What a pain in the ass. Like, why wouldn't you change that? It's Jonathan.
So
it's a lot of non-traditional spelling. And I checked it because I was like, oh, maybe it's a typo. But no, it was the email address on it. JOHNATTHON. You went wrong like 3 different ways, or your parents did.
You know what, though? Maybe since it's his email, did he write his name like that at the bottom? Or is this like the whatever Jonathan at something?
No, it was a Jonathan dot. Like something with his last name. You know who you are.
Let me
Jonathan.
look at. Let me just see how it spells. Like I need to look at it. John at Thon. Maybe it's like a running joke. You know how some people are like,
let's raise money at the Jonathan.
Yeah. Well, my little brother always says it's THAN. It's Jonathan.
Yeah.
I'm not a race. It's not Jonathan. But it's JONATHAN.
That is the right way.
Yes, I know.
That's the right way. And people who do that, I brought this up on the podcast before. If you spell your name, I'm not going to say incorrectly, but non-traditionally, you have to give people a break if they fuck it up. Sorry.
Yes,
if you're Brittany with like
a silent Q,
Stephanie with an F and a PH,
right,
you're going to have to cut some people some slack.
And also cut the shit.
Okay. So this is Jonathan from Duluth, Georgia. You said I made you understand what a healthy relationship could feel like, that you were tired of dating assholes and narcissists, and I was the first guy who ever made you feel special. And then after 9 months, you not only break up with me, but I hear you went back to your ex. Were you lying to me or lying to yourself?
I wasn't lying to you, Jonathan. I did mean, are you going to laugh or are you going to let me talk? Because this is kind of what you did the whole 9 months.
Sorry.
Okay. Are you going to let me talk?
I'll let you talk.
Okay. Because this is what you did to me the whole 9 months. You would laugh. You did make me feel special at first, but then you made it like everything I said, you would laugh. And I did feel special. Like, oh, he thinks I'm interesting and fun. And then it just became like, you're not ever serious about anything. And I felt like you weren't serious about me either. You just laugh everything off and, oh, this is fun. And at first, yeah, it seems like light and exciting, but then, you know, you get a few months in, 6, 7, and you start to realize I miss like the real life, the reality. I miss someone having an argument with me because they don't think I'm right about something. And you just agreed with me about everything. And I don't need a yes man in my life. I need a real man. And I'm sorry that I went back to the ex, but really being with you made me see that maybe some of the stuff I was doing in my ex relationship was what was wrong. And I did grow from being with you. I did learn things, but also what I learned was that I really missed my ex. And I don't want to tell you this like this way, but I'm just we're going to be getting married in a few months. See, there you go. There you go. See?
Oh, that took a
Goodbye, Jonathan.
That was very, very good.
Oh, that felt good.
A couple things here.
Okay, go on.
So now we're out of character, I think.
Yeah.
What a lot of people do. So Jonathan, she broke up with you. It has nothing to do with them. So it wasn't like you or them. She didn't want to be with you or anyone over anyone at that point. And a lot of times when people are like, I think it makes the guy lazy when the girl says something like, oh my God, everybody else was such an asshole and you're so wonderful. It makes the guy sort of
Cocky.
take his foot off the gas a little bit. Like, at least I'm better than those guys. She's like, the bar was so low that they don't have to really try to be way better. And, he might have slipped back into that. I don't know,
You never know. Like, I actually think maybe the ex saw her happy, saw her like thriving and flourishing, and maybe he saw the error of his ways.
Could be.
And like changed and came back and apologized. And that's all she really wanted. She didn't want Jonathan nice guy. She wanted her ex to be a nice guy to her.
Right.
Yes, I understand that.
Another podcast we produce around here is called, what's it called? It's on the wall. Flirt with Tony Blake. She looked that one up because she just did an episode about narcissism. And a lot of times every girl's like, oh my God, my ex-boyfriend was a narcissist. It's a lazy code word that everybody uses. And she took a deep dive on it, and it was really good if you want to look into that. But a lot of times, people badmouth their exes as an indirect way to make you feel, it's almost like I'm complimenting you by picking on them. And maybe when they get some distance from that, those people really weren't so bad. I don't know.
Yeah, or it's a way to bring up what you want in a relationship without so much just going, this is what I want in a relationship. I'm not telling you what I need or what I want. I mean, I'm just saying that my ex was this way. And it's an easy way to not just come out and say, this is what I want. I was actually even talking to somebody, and like, he always makes jokes about different things. And like, I was on my way over here actually today, and he sent me a picture of himself driving in the car. And I was like, oh, and I took a picture of myself. I said, same. And he like zoomed in on this one little gray hair that I had and like sent it back to me. And I was like, and then he's like, your eyes are beautiful. And I go, you know what? I was like, we haven't even met. We're just like talking. Like, is insults like the way you go? Because, and in the past I would have just been like, oh my God.
Negging is a strategy.
And I thought, I'm not doing that. I'm not allowing that to happen to me. I'm not going to take that. And I said something. I spoke up for myself for once. Maybe in the past, I may have just shimmied something in like, oh yeah, my ex was always criticizing. Now I'm going to go, I don't like that you're criticizing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as we ask on all these, what do you want to hear here, Jonathan? Do you expect something like, oh my God, you're right? I forgot that I said that.
Right.
Come on over.
Yeah. I mean,
like, what are you hoping for the answer?
And the problem is that people can say things to you and mean it, and then even the next day change their minds. That's the bullshit part about love.
I know,
because you could be in what you think is the most amazing relationship ever, and everything. And then one day they just change their minds.
Yeah, or,
it doesn't necessarily mean they were lying.
Or life changes and stresses happen,
Yeah.
and you have kids and jobs and things and
That's
things.
the risk
everybody
take.
says, till death do us part, happily ever after, and then things happen. So you're dealing with three moving targets here. Whatever happened with her exes, did they get better or worse?
Sure.
She got different. You were different, and so Jonathan, you're writing here. I don't know what you're hoping for here. I think we're on her side.
I'm not necessarily.
I don't feel any pity for him.
I do feel pity for him because I do understand feeling like you told me this was everything you wanted.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they go back to what they said they didn't want. That sounds like either she's got a problem that she likes being treated like trash, or maybe this other guy stepped up and she really did still just love him. That's what it sounds like to me.
And to defend you, crazy spell, Jonathan. Maybe she just didn't appreciate you, and she had stuff to work on, and she wasn't ready for a good guy like you. So I'm going to flip that on that. Maybe you're right. Eventually, she's just like, I don't feel worthy of you. You are too good for me.
Or sometimes it's just boring. When someone is so nice, sometimes it is. Some people need that spice.
Some people they
need that little edge of like whatever.
I know. Some people need we need to fight to feel alive because fighting is an emotion, and
I'm not against Jonathan at all.
Yeah,
I do feel like I feel bad for him because it sucks to feel like you said this is what you wanted.
Yeah,
and it's like,
gave you everything.
It's like when you go out to eat and you're like, do you want anything? And they're like, no. And then you come home with your food and they're like snacking on yours. You're like, no, you said you didn't want anything.
I know.
Leave my fries alone.
Yeah. Sorry, Jonathan. It's not going to work out because even if she called you back and said, "Oh, you're right," you can't trust it.
Yeah,
you got to move
trust
forward.
her. Yeah.
You can't. All right. Good. Next one. Are you?
Okay. So my turn.
Yeah. You are who?
I'm Megan in Shrewsbury, Massachusetts. I don't even know. I've never.
Shrewsbury, Mass is
Shrewsbury.
It's kind of near Worcester because I went to college in
also
Worcester, so it's
can't
somewhere.
pronounce it.
It's somewhere mid Massachusetts.
Okay, so I'm not going to try to do an accent because I don't really know.
Never stops me.
Okay, so hi, it's Megan. For years, you wouldn't work out with me. You wouldn't stop eating like shit. You wouldn't stop drinking. You even snuck cigarettes at work. And now you're training to be a yoga instructor? What happened to you only live once? What happened to I want to do what makes me happy? What happened to we're supposed to be carnivores when you were stuffing your face with cheeseburgers?
You bring up a good point, Megan, and that actually reminds me of how stressed out I was with you and how I was so unhappy that I would only find pleasure in Big Macs. And I wanted to insulate myself in a world of chili cheese fries because you made me. And then once I was free of you, I realized that there was a better way to feel, not just emotionally, but physically. And so I thank you very much. You showed me the way that I could be. I love animals. I love life, and most importantly, now I love myself. And I didn't really realize any of that until I was free from you and free from you harping on me. So the more you said, "Are you going to eat that?" the more I wanted to eat that. And now that nobody's questioning my food choices, the silence is enabling me to make smarter food choices. And namaste.
It's interesting to me this thing because it's Megan. This is interesting what you're saying because I feel like I would be more on her side if it was the opposite. If she was saying to him like, for years you were this yoga instructor, you were so into health, you wouldn't eat meat, you were very like, spiritual and like whatever you put, and now all of a sudden you're like on the corner like eating from
this is a rare
cart.
It's usually the other way.
Interesting. Like she's upset that he like bettered himself.
Right.
And that's kind of listen, I am like the pettiest bitch on the planet, but it is a little bit petty to be like upset that she's
not happy for him.
Yeah, at all. Like what happened to he's seen the light. It's not like we don't eat meat, animals are our friends, and
right.
Now you're like tearing your teeth into ribs. It's like
So another answer that he could have given, or I could have given, I suppose, is I didn't appreciate you were right. I just didn't grow up enough. I was unhappy with myself, and everything you said to me really made a difference. And I'm sorry it kicked in well after we broke up, but it did. Thank you very much. And
I like that.
And let's go out for a green tea,
an acai bowl.
Acai bowl, and talk about it. I'd love to see you, and I'd like to talk about like the changes I've made because I feel you were the inspiration for them. Could have gone that way.
So nice.
Dickhead Brian Howie chose door A.
I'm bracing myself for the next two.
It's more fun, but that could have gone either way to give an answer. I think either of those answers are reasonable.
I think so too. And she's like, all this time I wanted you to do this and you didn't. And that is frustrating. You know? All this time I'd ask you every morning, I'd wake up like, let's go hike. And now all of a sudden you're hiking. Well, I hope, I
imagine
Heather's happy with you.
I mean, I imagine the frustration that people must have felt with me years ago where like this is what I was talking about.
Right.
Like, all of us probably have that. And eventually, somebody says something in the right, not just the right way, but not just at the right time, but in the moment that you can hear it, and things do click in our heads, and maybe things will change, and maybe somebody will stop drinking, or maybe will drink more, or whatever you want. And there is a delayed reaction sometimes in the messages.
Sure. Or maybe you don't want to hear it from that person for whatever reason.
Or maybe it was the way we all think we're saying in a way that can be heard, but the tone could be wrong.
Sure.
Or maybe it accompanied it with an eye roll.
Right. No one likes an eye roll.
If she said like, "Oh my God, you're going to eat that? That's so gross," or "That's so fat," or if you just be like, "You should try this salad."
Like,
it's
honestly,
so good.
Just next time, just order the veggie burger instead. If you hate it, then I will order you a regular burger. But just next time, like something like.
If you hate it, I'll eat what you're eating.
Right.
Make it fun, make it playful. There are ways to get messages across in a better way, but people don't want. The more you beat them down and henpeck them, the more cigarettes they're going to sneak.
Right. And
did you ever smoke?
No, never.
Did you ever date a smoker?
No, and nor would I.
What if they're like, last one, I'm quitting for you?
Well, yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, I just don't want my hair to smell like smoke.
That's
And
reasonable. It's reasonable.
I don't like walking through a cloud of smoke because then my hair smells like it the rest of the day.
There's a place like 2 blocks from here where like 10 guys gather every morning and they sit and they smoke cigars and just they must smell like each other's cigar. Like I'm like, what are their goals?
I like cigars though.
12 guys in a room. I'm not even sure how safe that is these days, but they're just sitting in there like blowing smoke rings in this tiny little place. And then I'm like, where do they go after that? Do they shower? Do they go to lunch?
Yeah.
I don't know what they do.
They hang out with my grandfather. That's how he smelled.
Yeah, my grandfather always smelled like
Always.
cigars.
And I loved it because it was him.
It reminds me of it. It has a
Yes.
certain smell. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I can't wait to see how I'm going to be raked over the coals next.
All right, next one. This is Ian from just outside Austin.
Okay.
The way he refers to him. Just outside Austin, you could go a lot of different directions.
Yeah, it's true.
Ian from Austin. You and your dog are fucking weird. That's right. Your dog is weird too. You talk to each other and you hug each other and you are into each other in a way that I don't think is normal and healthy. That dog always came before me, and there's a difference between loving your pet and thinking your pet is a guy. It's a dog. It's not your husband.
First of all, Ian, you tried to get that dog to love you the way he loved me, and he never did. And that's why you're pissed. You would take him on walks. You would try. He loved me better than you. And that is so sad and so sums up exactly our relationship that literally you said the same thing to me about my cousin and about my favorite aunt who I hang out with. You're like, this is weird. Nobody hangs out with their aunt. Nobody hangs out with their cousin because you don't have a relationship like that. Sad for you. Maybe someday you will find love in like an animal, but this is exactly why I broke up with you, because you could never see past what you think is weird in your life. And you know what I think is weird, Ian? You know what I think is weird? That you keep your dead father's ashes in your underwear drawer. That's what I think is weird.
No.
So I'm glad we broke up. Have a nice life, and tell your dad I said hi, and think of him the next time you're putting on your tighty whities, freak.
Put daddy in that cigar.
I'm the wrong person to say you're weird with your
the
dog.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there any chance that somebody is really weird with their dog?
There's definitely a
limit.
chance of that, sure.
There's
but
extra licking and stuff.
that I don't allow. I love my dog more than anything. You look at my Instagram, a third of it is my dog. He is the cutest dog in the world. Other people think they're like, oh, I'm like, my dog's the cutest. They'll post like, oh, but also I'm like, no, not yours, actually, mine. He really is.
What kind of dog is this?
He's a Havanese poodle mix. He's white and he's fluffy and he's really the sweetest, cutest thing ever. So I get it. But anytime he tries to lick me, because dogs do that, I go, no licking, no licking. I do not allow that.
You don't allow licking?
I don't like that.
I think you're unreasonably cold to your dog.
Meanwhile, you wouldn't have said that if you saw me laying on the bed next to him today, combing his body and his face and his hair.
So the dog can be in the bed, but no licking.
No licking. And you have to say it like that. No licking.
And the dog knows.
Yeah, he
So
stops.
can the dog sniff at you?
He can
they
sniff,
sniff
but-
your curly hair?
Yeah, he doesn't though, but he could. I would allow him to sniff, but no
Sniff,
licking.
but no licking.
No licking. I don't like that.
You don't kiss? What about people
I
who
do give him
tongue the
kisses.
dog?
I don't tongue the dog.
But you've seen people who do that.
I did. I saw something about Mary.
Oh, yeah, like that. Is
Yeah.
that excessive?
No, that's excessive for sure. But he
Okay.
didn't say like you like dry fuck your dog. He said you talk to it weird, and it's not like sometimes how many people adopted dogs during this quarantine because it's a comfort level, and
and there is your dog is most likely not going to hurt you, and you can trust the dog, and people are more relaxed and comfortable with their pet, and they can be. So there's another one, Ian,
you know what it says to me? It says to me that either he was jealous of that dog already, because he's saying your dog.
Yeah.
He came into that relationship. She already had this dog.
Yeah.
I bet she probably had it with her last boyfriend or something, and he associates that with the ex.
As we always say, you would never trust a person who doesn't like a dog, and you'd always trust a dog who doesn't like a person.
Always.
Right. And so whatever your energy was around the dog, maybe the dog got closer to her because you freaked the dog out.
Yeah, maybe
Ian.
the dog could tell that you were like some freako. I'm not going to say it.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're on the dog.
Yeah,
side
we're definitely on the dog side. She may also be weird, but like,
I'm jealous of her relationship with the dog.
send us a picture of the dog. Then we could really judge.
Right. You should have given us, Ian, I know you're not giving it to us. theoretically to her, you should have given an example of something that you thought was weird. So we had a little bit more to play with.
Yeah, because it seems like very generic right now. We're like, but if he's like, no, for the dog's birthday, she rented out a banquet hall like that. Yes, that is a little weird.
I had to do a reading at a dog funeral once in Los Angeles, and everybody was playing it straight. Like nobody was laughing, and I'm like, this is so ridiculous.
Okay.
There was a band and a reading and a graveside thing, and I had to read. They're like, she's like, you knew the dog. Will you do a reading? And I did a reading from like a literal Bible
from
passage.
The letter of Paul to the Corinthians.
Yeah, something like that. Like I believe it was Luke. And I had to read it, and I'm like, is anybody going to start laughing here? And nobody started laughing, and I felt like the asshole.
Yeah, well, that kind of is an asshole move. You're at a funeral, but you don't have a public funeral for your, like, if you're going to, if
right,
God
so where
forbid
do we
my
draw
dog
the line?
passes
Like,
away.
I'm sad. The dog was old. She did. We were in black.
You do
we
not
were in black.
know. That's
the
weird.
whole thing, and people were crying.
That's weird.
Right. There is a line.
It's also weird to have a birthday party for your dog. Like, I understand getting him a special cake or a dog cake for the day, or you buy him treats or you get him gifts, but you don't invite other people into your...
I know somebody who had who celebrated the dog's birthday month, which I always think is weird when people do that.
Oh,
it's like, you're like, it's my birthday
I'm
month.
kind of
July.
a birthday month kind of gal.
And it's like, it's his
November.
birthday month. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit
Are you
much.
a Scorpio?
I am, very much.
Me too. Is there Scorpio discrimination in your life? People are like, ugh, Scorpio.
No, because they know better. I'm like, don't be jealous that I'm the best sign. Also, both of my brothers and my dad are all Scorpio.
It's a real thing. Girls will not date Scorpios generally.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd love to date a Scorpio.
Because
I never have.
Because you're like, I'm a Scorpio.
Yeah.
So you don't discriminate
I'm
against
like,
your own
let's
kind.
get wild.
Yeah. No, we
Let's beat the shit out of
we
each
do this
other
thing
in
at
the
our live shows where before anybody talks, they have to say where they went to high school.
Oh.
And for a time, I switched that up, and I wanted people to say what their zodiac sign was.
Yeah.
The Scorpio hate was so palpable.
They're so jealous of us.
Somebody would go Scorpio, and they would go, ooh. And you'd hear like a thing. I had to stop doing it.
They're so jealous of us because they know that Scorpios are like passionate and loyal.
I
and
think
like,
so too, but it's a real thing.
It's like the super hot girl at school that's like so hot. She doesn't have to work out, but she's beautiful and she's also nice and she's smart. And everybody's like, how do I get what she has? You're like, you can't. She was just born with it.
Just got it.
Sorry, she's a Scorpio.
We are going to take a quick break, and we will be back with more X's and Uh-Ohs right after this. We are back, and it's your turn to serve, Jill Kimmel.
Okay. So this is Corinne. I'm Corinne. My name's Corinne. Okay. And this is just via the Facebook page. So she doesn't say where she's from. You never came to pick up that box that you left in my closet? The one I never paid much attention to, but now that I'm moving, I had to take it out. I looked inside. I mean, what the fuck?
Oh, you found the gift that I meant to give you for our anniversary that we never got to because you broke up with me. It was supposed to be special for you, and I'm sorry that I couldn't give it to you in the manner in which I intended the severed head.
I was going to say.
That's really open-ended.
It doesn't sound like whatever was in the box was good.
Is it like Pulp Fiction and what's in the briefcase?
It's like a 7, right? Wasn't that 7?
7 had the head.
Right. What's in the box? Right.
But
yeah.
Pulp Fiction is like, what was in that briefcase?
I mean, what
we don't
the
know.
fuck? Like,
so what could that have been?
I mean, it had to
Porn?
be like porn is my first thought. Drugs.
Weird underwear?
Just something super weird. Pictures of his ex.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck, bro? Or like pictures of her.
So it probably wasn't like old baseball cards?
No, definitely.
Pictures of her.
Maybe pictures of Corinne. Like, really, bro? Like that she didn't know were being taken, like of her sleeping and stuff.
Oh, like secret videos and stuff?
I actually have like one picture. I remember my ex-husband. I don't remember. I think I was looking through his phone. I don't remember what I was doing. Somehow or another, I saw that he had taken a picture of me. I was just like in underwear at the sink, like getting ready. And it was not flattering at all. I mean, I was very heavy at the time. I've lost over 100 pounds over the course of the last 7 years or so.
Have you?
And, yeah.
Good
and
for
so
you.
thank you. I mean, I had weight loss surgery, so it's not like that
Namaste.
much of an accomplishment. But yes, I did. So I looked terrible in clothes. I looked terrible naked.
Yeah.
Now I looked even worse then. And it was a photo. I was just like putting makeup on or something,
Yeah.
and he like took it. It was like secretly, and that really bothered me. Like, not so much that I looked disgusting in the photo, but like, why are you taking this? And
Because
I don't
the
know
most
about
beautiful pictures of a woman are always when she's caught off guard.
Really?
And always
When she's
captured
caught
in
off
a
guard,
moment.
when her
Yes.
cellulite is being reflected
Not
by
to-
the mirrors in
not
the
to
bathroom.
him, but-
no, he was not. This was not a lovely.
Oh.
No, this
It was like,
It was
gotcha?
like a blackmail shot, is what it was like.
A friend of mine, she was dating a guy for like a year and a half, and he was really only with her. He was secretly recording everything and putting it on the internet.
No,
Yeah,
like sexual stuff. Or,
sexual stuff.
Oh,
just
that's
her
illegal,
getting ready
isn't
for
it?
stuff. It was a whole thing. And so I'm like, she's still like traumatized to this day. Where
yeah.
she can't. You're right. She just trusted this guy, and he filmed everything, and he was like secretly uploading it to like porn sites and stuff.
No, I
Yeah.
feel like that's like a version of rape.
Right, I agree. And
Yeah.
I don't know how she could even trust anybody. Like, it was
my
just
God.
such a terrible thing for her. But so, yeah, whatever's in the way she says, or the way you read Corinne's thing, I mean, what the fuck? It's probably not good.
No. But not horrible, because otherwise she would have turned it into the cops. It's not like child porn, but it's probably like some weird
Right,
like,
if it was porn, she
kink.
wouldn't want it. Yeah,
Maybe it's like a ball gag and something, or
it's
like a butt
kink.
plug.
Right,
Or,
and this was for
she's
your
like, yeah, we didn't.
Happy birthday,
No,
sweetie.
it was not a gift for her. He left it in the closet. She never paid much attention to it. It wasn't for her. It was his, and he accidentally left it.
Well, he accidentally, if it was really that
Right.
incriminating, he would have gotten it, and he brought it into their home. He didn't hide it.
Sure. So it wasn't like illegal or whatever.
Right,
It just
so
had to
what-
be like embarrassingly ew.
Did you ever find something after you dated her while you're like, oh my God, what the hell? They used to be a woman or anything like that?
I did not find anything like that. No, I didn't. I think I found out all the stuff about the exes like before we broke up. So
I found a box it was a long time ago. I was living with this girl. She got her stuff. She moved out. She left one box behind. It was a bunch of diaries that were not hers.
oh.
It was like she had stolen them out of her sorority. This goes back like it was like early 20s.
This I like. It's like she was going to
They
blackmail
were
her
like
sisters.
actual, because they weren't hers, and they were different handwritings. But they were legitimate diaries, and she had like 9 of them in a box. And I'm like, where did you get these? And why do you
Maybe.
have these?
Hear me out. Did you look at the dates at all?
Yeah,
Were they all the same? Like
They were
time?
not Anne Frank.
Maybe she bought. No, I don't mean like that. But maybe she got them at like thrift store. Maybe she collects them and thinks it's
Who
really
sells
cool.
diaries?
You donate them and they get like an estate sale or something. Like maybe
So
she thought
you're
that
on the
was
side
cool.
of the
I'm on the
diary
side of
people.
definitely wanting to know
So
why.
you think that's kind of interesting that you could go around and get. Are there diaries at like yard sale? Is that?
I mean, I guess why not? If you die and you have an estate.
See,
you've got
now
some-
she's suddenly really interesting, and
Yeah.
you're giving her. I was just like,
Let's
she's a
call her.
psychopath. Why did you
She
have all
could
the
be.
diary? And I didn't know what to say. I was like, did she want me to find these? Did she leave these behind intentionally? I just felt like I was a part of something that I shouldn't have been a part of.
If they were diaries from people she knew, that's weird. But if they were diaries from people she didn't know, maybe she's just fascinated by that. Like I remember we would drive through, like let's say I grew up in Vegas and we were driving to California. We drive through like Barstow or whatever.
Yeah.
And you see these small towns like off the side of the road. It's mostly desert, but you see and people live. And I was always fascinated as a kid thinking, I would love to just be like a fly on the wall, like in houses of people I don't know.
Well, like
and
from
just kind
here
of
to
watching.
Kingman.
Yes.
There's a lot of like.
I just would
yeah.
love to like, and I don't care about, I don't want to come into your house and see how you live. Like I know
Right.
you, that does not interest me. I want to like watch people I don't know and like how they interact and like, you know, walking through the kitchen, what do they pick up to snack on? Just that kind of stuff fascinates me.
Yeah. I always thought a camera outside a bar in the parking lot that was fixed for like 8 a.m. the next morning, like the walk of shame
Oh, well,
camera,
that's
where
a
they
little
had to,
different,
where they
yeah.
had to drop the people off and the awkward goodbye, like drive me back to my car kind of
sure.
thing.
Well, nowadays you would just see an
Now you got
Uber
Uber.
driver
It's taking that.
dropping her off.
There goes
right?
that $100 idea. Here's the thing about like, yeah, it could be interesting why, but if it was something that she did to collect diaries, wouldn't she have shared that if they were in a relationship or with me, I'm like, who is this? I was the one. He had a bunch of diaries and be like, I like to do this.
Maybe not necessarily. Maybe it wasn't something she really like was at the forefront of her mind. You know, maybe it was something she hadn't done in a while, or it's not like such a big fixation. She's like, I love this. You've got to know. It's just like, oh, every, 4 years or so, maybe, I'll see and be like, oh, cool. Anytime I'm in an antique store, I look and I ask, do you happen to have any diaries? Some people collect rosaries.
Do they have them?
They do sometimes. Absolutely. They have little Bibles.
I think ancient ones or old ones.
Very cool.
Like I always thought it was both very personal and, Nancy Reagan published the book of her husband. Ronald Reagan hand wrote a letter to Nancy every day of their marriage,
so
no
cute.
matter where he was. And she published them and they were very sweet, but I always wondered on his side, like, I didn't want to share that with the world. I wanted to share it with you.
He's dead.
I get that.
Well, this is which
can we not honor the dead's wishes?
Well, I mean, if he had made that, clear to her that he didn't want it, but if they were nice, I see like what's wrong with it. But
they were very
people,
intimate portrayal of their relationship and how much he loved her, and I thought it was very sweet. But part of me would be like, this is only for you. From
sure,
me.
I think she must have known him well enough to know that he would have been okay with it, or she wouldn't have done it. They did seem like a happy couple.
Yeah, they did.
Can you imagine if they were like, I want to fuck you like an animal, Nancy?
Well, I'm sure they had an editor. I know. They probably left out the weird ones.
Yeah, by the way, what is that weird lump? We've got to get that checked or whatever. You're like, can we leave that out? Thanks.
Yeah. Can you pick something on the way? They didn't have that, but I thought it was sweet.
Enclosed is a photo of you and your cellulite getting ready in the mirror.
Are you going to let that go?
That was so weird to me.
Was it a digital photo or was it back like a Polaroid?
It wasn't a Polaroid. It was definitely digital. But God, I don't 100% remember, which tells you it wasn't like that impactful. It was just something that I was like, okay about. I just thought I don't care for this. I don't even think I ever brought it up to him. I was just like,
Was there a point in your weight loss journey? Can I talk about that for a second?
Yeah, sure.
Where you were like, I'm going to make it to where I want to be? Like you say you lost 100 pounds over 7 years. That's a slow
not
thing.
over 7 years. It was like an 18-month period. I had the weight loss surgery. And so it was like 18.
What is that? The band?
No, I did have the band actually.
You cut off a leg?
Do not ever get the band. The band is horrible and almost killed me. I was very, very sick from the band. I had the band for like 2 years.
Yeah.
I lost about 80 pounds only because I was always vomiting, always throwing up.
Right.
So then I was getting second opinions. I was so sick, so weak. I could barely like work or function. I would go to the hospital like every few weeks for like an IV. It was terrible. So finally got a second opinion and they're like, yeah, the band needs to come out. It is slipped 80% of the way down your stomach and it's basically strangling you to death.
Yeah. That's one way to lose weight.
Yeah. And I got it taken out and felt great. And then within like a year, I had gained all my weight back. And then I found out that my insurance covered weight loss surgery. So when I had the gastric sleeve, which just means they just cut off like 80% of your stomach. Oh. They just like cut it off and like sew it, and it's like shaped like a sleeve, which is why they call it that. And yeah, so I lost like 109 pounds or whatever, and it took about 18 months.
Good for you.
It averages out to like 8 to 10 pounds a month.
You have to go get the skin done?
I actually am going to be getting a tummy tuck soon.
All right.
Yes, thanks to an anonymous benefactor.
All right.
And not so anonymous to me.
We'll be posting the before and after pictures on our Facebook page.
We'll see. I mean, maybe.
Do you know who, oddly, that actually triggered me here, of who I look to as like, what he did works. I think I should try that. Do you know who?
My brother?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jimmy has done, he does the 5 and 2.
Yeah.
He's kept the weight off a long time.
He has, but he also...
And he likes barbecue and cooking.
He likes a lot of stuff like that. He never had a weight problem. He was always very skinny growing up.
Chunky, though.
He was always very skinny growing up. Oh. And then when he was like man show-ish, he was like, it was more like baby fat than anything. He was never like a fat person, but he was like next to Adam Carolla for one thing, who's skinny.
Right.
And he just kind of had, it was like baby fat more than anything. And then he lost that weight, and I mean, it wasn't like so much weight. He really kept it up.
He lost 40 pounds.
Right, which to me is nothing because I've been like 100 and something pounds overweight. But
he's been at that weight for a fairly long time.
And I think he has a personal trainer who like kind of, and Jimmy's very determined and dedicated. Like if he puts his mind to something, there's nothing that's going to stop him.
Because he's not Oprah yo-yoing, and she has all the tricks and the thing.
He's very much like... he's very dedicated. And he's like, my brain is like, watch this. I would go and get diet pills like back in the day when diet pills were a thing, like at a truck stop. Like one of your friends would be like, I got these diet pills. You're like, where? They're like at a truck stop in Kingman. You're like, next time you're going through, stock up and give me like girls in college. Like we did everything we could to lose weight except diet and exercise. But that's another story. And I would like get these pills and everyone was losing weight on them. And I'd be like, I could eat, watch. And I'd take the pills and like still eat. Like, why was I doing that? I don't know. But Jimmy is not like that. When he's like, gets something in his head, he will do it.
Is it always the same days that he does?
I don't really know. I don't think so. I think he's a little looser with it now that he like doesn't have to lose weight. He just has to maintain. But, you know, they would do a lot of everyday catered lunches for the writers and all this. So now they do that, but they keep it they keep it more health conscious.
Yeah.
And like, it's not as crazy, like tons of bagels in the break room every day. And it's a little more like, all right, we're all
But it seems
adults.
like a fairly normal way to do it.
Yeah. And he's a very big fan of the sous vide, which is that cooking thing. And he would like put his fish in there and have like, he likes to,
I'm doing the bone broth. It really is good.
Oh, see, that skeeves me to even think about like bone broth.
It's so good for you.
And I don't eat meat anymore anyway, so I think that would
What
be.
about the broth? Does that count as meat?
Yes, it's made from animals.
Are you like
No, I'm not
kosher
like
kitchen?
No,
Don't
no,
put
no,
your
no. I
bacon
do
over
eat
here?
fish, and honestly, there are some times, like when I was at my mom's over Christmas, she was making bacon. I was like, I like took 2 pieces and like stood in the hall and just like scarfed them. So no, I'm not
There's
like
some
that.
wiggle
But
room
there
here.
are certain things like I will never just like eat a steak.
If I said, "Oh my god, the steak's so good, have a bite,"
if it's a very small bite, but for me now, it's more of a mental thing than anything else. Like the texture and stuff, like skeeves me.
Yeah.
But like a burger, I could eat if it's not too thick, or like a chicken nugget, because I always feel like they're not real meat anyway.
Yeah, that's
right. And it's not very often; it's just once in a while. But I feel like I've.
So where do you stand on the McRib?
Oh my God, I used to love them. I had a whole bit about it. Like I was like the fat girl who could never talk about anything but the McRib coming back. I loved. And I had it again, like, I mean, I gave up meat like a year and a half ago, but, you know, for the most part. But
Recently,
I think the last McRib I had probably was 3 or 4 years ago. And I was like, what was I thinking?
I know.
It is like a gelatinous slab of.
When's the last time you had a hot dog?
I actually have never liked hot dogs.
Oh,
I
that
only
makes it
would
easier.
eat turkey ones when I would eat them because I really just never liked hot dogs. But now I love the Morningstar Farms veggie corn dogs. They're so good. Oh my God, I might stop and get some on my way home today. So I can I'll eat like 2 of them in the microwave for breakfast and like 2 for lunch.
Okay, that's what's known as a tangent. Great love,
Yeah,
listeners.
sorry,
but I hope
guys.
it was good for you.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know where we're
Who's
gonna
like-
go.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I just got good information on weight loss surgery.
Have you
and
ever done
veggie corn.
Corolla's show?
No, I've done his wife's podcast.
If you do Adam's show, you have to be prepared for any tangent.
Hello.
And it might-
Adam's whole life is a tangent.
Right, or any conversation
Yes.
with him, and you just have to be like, how did we get down
Like
here?
you honestly have to just like do yourself that favor and not even make any sidebar with him. Otherwise, you will totally
It's like,
forget.
how did we get down this road?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Well,
true.
because
all right.
Adam's Adam.
You said
My third one, my
yes,
number 3.
yes.
It's you telling. Okay. Whew, I hope this is a good one. Do like an accent or something this time.
Okay.
Play wild with me. Okay, here we go.
Wait, I
It's
go?
you. Yeah, you're number 3.
Oh, okay. And this is Mark via
Mark with a K or a C?
Mark with a K
Oh, thank God.
via the Facebook page. Huh. Do you want an accent of some kind?
Sure.
Do you want a Massachusetts accent?
If you can do one, yeah. Don't screw it up though.
I can't do this one. I want to play it straight. You just made me nervous. I do it. I like look every opportunity to say wicked, pissa, awesome, but I couldn't do it. Your father's a cop. All right, Mark. It's Mark via the Facebook page. I always had trouble saying I love you, and I know that ultimately that is what made you end things. You felt I was too emotionally immature. Well, I know it has been a while, and I'm not afraid anymore. I not only miss you, but I love you. I think we should give it another try. Oh, she's crying.
I like literally am.
She's literally crying. Mark, I got a girl for you.
Mark, like I just want to say, first of all, you're right about that. That was something that always bothered me. And it was hard, because like I loved you so much and I always told you. And I just felt like you never you never wanted to say it. And just to hear you say that now means like so much to me. And I would love to give it another try.
She's actually crying.
I have like chills.
I know
I'm
it was.
so glad
it
I
was,
didn't shave
every
my
once in a
legs.
while we throw in a sweet.
That's
You were
so
waiting for the. You were
nice.
waiting for the dark turn, and it didn't come.
And I love that he was sweet and he feels bad and he's willing to put himself out there.
Sometimes, because she could be like, "Fuck you, too late."
Oh, of course, most people
Sometimes
would be.
it takes a while for the boys to grow up.
Any humans.
Or
Let's
any
be
humans.
honest.
It did kick in. I think that he's clearly done the work, or the work sunk in to him. I believe him.
I want her to take him back.
I do too.
Like, because it doesn't seem like there was any like real terrible stuff. It was just like my dad doesn't say
She just
I
couldn't
love you.
get through.
My dad doesn't say I love you very often.
Yeah, the
It
Howies
wasn't-
don't say I love you,
It wasn't
trust me.
something that they said in his house.
Yeah.
They're like German Irish, so they were nice people and they loved him, but it wasn't a very like my mom is Italian.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything's I love you. I love you. I love your face. Come here. Give me like food is love. Everything's love.
Right.
And my dad loves us like a million ways to Sunday. He shows it in everything he does.
doesn't say it.
The words are tough for him. He actually used to. Am I going to out him here? He's never going to listen to this.
Hey.
He used to say to my mom because I'm not going to tell him. He used to say to my mom, instead of I love you, it was so hard for him to just bridge that, like, just to say it. He loves her so much and shows it. He would say te amo. Which is just because they had seen it in
Yeah.
like some movie or something, kind of like in Ghost where he would just say ditto.
Yeah.
It was just those words were so difficult. He showed her all the. I hope that this lady gets back together with Mark. Mark,
I know.
Let Mark, please reach out again and like follow up with us on this.
See, you should say I love you once in a while, but there are more original things to say and ways to express it that can absolutely be more meaning for me.
Sure.
If you're just like, you're just the most special person in the world, and I can't believe you're my
something
girlfriend.
like my
Something.
ex used to say to me, I'll fight for you. Because one time I had said to him, like, I feel like if we get in a fight, like, and I like leave in a huff or whatever,
Right.
like you won't even come after me. Like, I feel like you won't even fight for me.
Yeah.
And so he used to text me just every once in a while and say, hey, I'll fight for you. And now at the end of our relationship,
Yeah.
I said to him, it's funny because you always used to say to me, you'll fight for me. And that meant so much to me until I realized you didn't mean you would fight for me. You meant you would fight with me.
Yeah.
And he was like, and I'm like, well, I mean, sorry, the truth hurts, but
Yeah. Because a lot of people will reach out to the ex and throw out the I miss you.
yeah. But to throw
miss
out,
you, I
I
miss
love
you.
you.
And I love you, especially if you didn't say it. I buy it.
I believe it too.
I believe
I'm
it.
so on board for this relationship to work.
I'm gonna have
I
to
hope
track
she's
this
not
guy
like-
down. Yeah.
Yeah. If he's listening,
He's on our Facebook page. Yeah,
If he-
Mark, send us some more info. We're going to help you.
Like we'd love
We're going
to.
to make this
oh my
happen.
God.
You better not fuck us over, Mark. We are Team Mark here.
And also, Mark, you better not be some piece of shit who like ruined her life that she's going to be mad that we find her. But like,
yeah, we don't want her to be like, do you know what he did? Not only didn't he say this, here's what he did say.
I am an ordained minister. I would be happy to like officiate your wedding.
Yeah. I don't know. It was sweet.
It is
You
sweet.
did make
And if she doesn't
Jill
want you back, hit
legitimately
me up.
cry.
You did make me cry.
I know.
If she doesn't write you back, hit me up. Unless you're a smoker. But otherwise.
And good for us throwing in a sweet one
Yeah.
here. You know? Yeah, that's good. And that was really the way. Here's what you did, Mark. You acknowledged, you heard her.
Mm-hmm.
You acknowledged what you did wrong. You gave the reason you thought I was emotionally immature, and you're right. People really do want that acknowledgement.
Yeah.
That people want to know that I wasn't crazy to
Yes.
to think this. the validating in I heard you. It took me too long. It was too late. But this is sort of goes back to the beginning, like with the food thing. If the crazy eater who was then teaching yoga,
Yeah.
he was like, I heard you, and it did kick in somewhat. you know.
But this one,
He understood what she
Mark
was talking
Mark
about,
wants
and,
her back.
and he was emotionally immature, and he is a different person now. And people are always sometimes like, a lot of times it ends because it ends and it should end, but people do change and they do grow up and they do see the light and they can be better people. And there is nothing wrong with, I don't want to say recycling an ex, but revisiting something.
I mean, she
There
doesn't
is
have
a
to be the
chance.
one that got away.
Yeah.
She could be the one that like,
Yeah, you're different places in
you
time.
lured back with smoked
and you
meats.
and you learned Yeah,
I
from
love
your
it.
smoked meat.
And
yeah,
I love
we're
you.
in.
I love you too, Mark. I love you too.
So you have a plan B here. Jill Kimmel wants.
Well,
you
you don't even need plan B because I can't have kids. Oh, that's a different plan B. Never
Is
mind.
that? Yeah, that's a different plan B. Different thing. All right. Well, that was very sweet. Okay. Next one for me.
Okay. This is from Sabrina in White Plains, New York.
You know who was born in White Plains, New York?
No.
Me.
Oh, really?
White Plains Hospital.
I do know that the Starwood corporate office is in White Plains, New York.
Why have you called and yelled?
I used to work for them.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I was born there.
Unceremoniously fired. It's a long story.
It's a different podcast.
Not really. I was.
Jobs I used to have with Jill Kimmel.
Oh my God, that would be, some podcast.
That's actually a good podcast idea.
To have people
Have
on.
they come and talk about the jobs they used to have?
Yeah.
Put a pin in that one.
Note to self. Okay, here we go. This is Sabrina.
Okay.
I feel like we should have ended with Mark because that was like a nice taste.
Never
and
end on a
Sabrina.
high.
Well, here we go. I waited 3 years to tell you this, but here goes. I cheated on you with your brother. You know how I said I always hated him and he was so gross? That was a lie. He's hot. His wife's a crazy bitch. You're an asshole. And that last Thanksgiving was fucking awesome. He might be a total dick like you, but he knew how to please me in ways you never could. So when I said screw you and your whole family, I meant screw you. And I screwed your brother. Ha fucking ha.
Well, you two deserve each other, and he has that bitch of a wife because he's a miserable piece of shit. And I'm not surprised by that because I'm not surprised by anything you do. I'm surprised you're not writing me and telling me that it was my father or our neighbors or anybody else.
All of that.
I always knew you were no good. I'm glad to be free of you. I'm with a wonderful woman now who makes me cheeseburgers for Thanksgiving dinner. And she's terrific and she would never do the things you do. I don't know if you think that I'm going to be shocked at this news. Why would you do that with him?
Like, no matter how much you try to say you don't care, it always comes back to
you.
Well,
to
she
fake
does
it.
say that he was a total dick. He might be a total dick like you. So they're both dicks, but he knew how to please me in ways you never could. This is the most toxic thing I've ever read in my life. It's like not only are, and believe me, it's like not only are you not together anymore, but you feel compelled to let him know that when you were together, you
Right.
slept with his brother, who's also a dick. So it's not even. Well, I feel like what he should have said to her was like, well, guess what? You know what? What he never told you, and neither did I, was that he has herpes. So good luck with that, sister.
Yeah.
Like,
weird. I know. What again? What do you want, Sabrina? You just wanted to have the last word
yeah,
here?
why are you fucking his brother if he's also a total dick? Just to spite
I know.
this
Like,
guy?
what were don't bring her to Thanksgiving dinner.
That last Thanksgiving was fucking awesome. Like,
I know.
yeah, it sounds like you two are perfect for each other, kind of. Like,
Yeah. And thanks for listening,
I've waited
Sabrina.
3 years to tell you this. Like,
Sabrina, stay away
I
from
feel
Mark.
bad for Sabrina that she's still 3 years later thinks that she needs to hold on to this tuss. It's like, yeah, you're
Wait.
telling him now, but you're still clearly like hot. She hasn't waited 3 years to tell you
Right,
this.
but you feel bad for her?
I feel badly that she's the kind of person that needs to hold. Like 3 years later, you're still like harboring
The
this?
one who's the piece of shit here
I
is
don't
the
feel
brother.
bad for her. Like I'm sad. I feel like this is really.
The brother's the bad one.
They're all bad.
They're all bad.
Well, maybe not the guy. She does say he's a total dick, but that's her version
but
of it.
he didn't care to screw his brother's wife.
They're all
They're
dicks.
all bad.
Maybe the brother's wife's the only one. She's a crazy bitch.
Yeah, she might
His
be the
wife's
good
a
one.
crazy bitch. You're fucking your husband or boyfriend's brother.
Right.
Who's the crazy bitch?
Right.
Like I've been a crazy bitch. Don't get it twisted. But I would never hook up with a relative.
Do you know people who've done stuff like that?
I watched 90 Day Fiance. There's one couple on there, but I don't think I do. Not in real life, no. And if they have, they haven't admitted it.
The couple that does not get enough, or the story that does not get enough play, is Shania Twain's husband
Mutt Lang,
left her for her friend,
best friend.
and Shania's with the friend's husband.
Isn't that crazy?
They just swapped.
Which is like, hey, if it works out, fine. But
I
what was
think they
Mutt
got-
Lang thinking? Like, how gorgeous was this friend that he would cheat on Shania?
Well, not to the pictures, not, but Shania might have been annoying.
Sure,
we don't judge
sure,
it by its cover.
sure.
But I think that the husband coming over and them saying, like, how long did you know about them doing this? Brought them together.
Yeah, it would bring me together.
It's sort of like it does sometimes happen with, widows or widowers,
Yeah.
they share the comfort in the loss.
Yeah, or
and
like their husband died at war, and like the
yeah,
brother.
a surprising amount of 9/11 firefighters got together with the wives.
It's actually
It's
not
weird.
surprising though, because they
Yeah.
probably have a lot in common if they're friends and they're sharing the
Right.
same kind of career. And if they're dead, that's totally
Right.
different. I mean, it might be weird for the people who are left. Like, wasn't that my uncle? But
I know.
like,
Are they together? Like,
yeah.
what are they going?
But in real life, like when they're still alive, and you just ew.
Yeah,
That's gross.
I know.
And also, no one I've ever dated has had a hot relative. So
the
it would
one I
never
want
happen.
is Sabrina. I don't want you contacting Mark.
I will kill Sabrina if she contacts my man Mark. I will
Mark's
kill
very
her.
sweet. Sabrina, knock it off. Like,
Yes.
I know you did this, and thanks for listening.
Right.
But
this
don't-
is something that you admit in one of those drinking games with your friends. You
Yeah.
don't reach out to him 3 years later. Like, what's
right,
the point?
Right, and it's not like 3 years later you've had some growth, because 3 years later you want to.
You're still saying ha fucking ha at the end.
Yeah, you kind
Now-
of you tell this story to everybody, and you think it's cool.
Right. And if he was a really total dick, then it is like, I get it. If he really was a dick, I'm on Sabrina's side. Like, good for you, sister. Preach it to the choir. Let him know you ruined his life.
Yeah.
But I feel like maybe it wasn't totally like that.
Yeah.
He was probably a dick, but I feel like she's got some spice too. She's probably a Scorpio.
She probably is, and so's the brother. There's no.
I want to
you're
go
not-
drinking with Sabrina, and
Yeah.
I want Sabrina to have my back when my man cheats on me. But I feel also like I would not let Sabrina
like,
be
"Let's
alone
bring in
with my
Sabrina."
husband. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's the friend that you call
Yeah.
when you need like a body buried.
Come on, Sabrina, get it together.
Sabrina, yeah.
all
I
right.
feel like Sabrina hasn't found love to this point to still be like ha fucking hot. to
Yeah,
the guy.
you still are
Yeah.
kind of think it's cool.
I want her to like find someone who makes her not care.
I know
about this.
That's not the show we're doing here, Sabrina. We're selling hope around here.
Oh, okay.
This is good. Are you, since the last time you were here, to give the listeners an update, are you in a happier place?
I'm so happy. I'm in such a good place. So turns out, I don't know. I don't remember how much I revealed of my last, but I was still in a very bad place. What was it? 3 weeks ago when I was here? My ex and he had been stringing me along for many, many months, and he doesn't think he was, but everyone who hears the story agrees that he for sure was. And he started dating someone during like a month period where he and I were not speaking. But then we started speaking again and like hooking up. But he was still dating this girl that he was very much downplaying. He's like, no, we're not dating. We're not dating. We've gone on a couple dates is what he kept saying. Turns out they were very much dating. And I was a little bitter about it, and maybe much like Sabrina, but I was subtweeting. I was tweeting things that I would not say.
You're working
their
jokes
names.
into your act.
Well, I was working jokes into my act, but also on Twitter, which although they had me blocked on all social media, I knew she would be looking because that's what I do. And she saw something I wrote and reached out and was like, listen, I'm reading your stuff. If you've got something to say to me, say it. And if not, like, cut the shit. Like, what are you doing? Stirring up trouble. So she and I spoke for about 3 hours. We FaceTimed that day. And I just told her the truth about everything. And she promptly went over to his house and broke up with him. And that was 2.5 weeks ago. And she and I are buddies. We hung out. We've spoken every day.
Every day?
Every day we text and talk. And she's very young and very cool and so much more mature than I ever was at her age or am today at 50. She's 22. She's lived a life where she had to grow up a little fast, and she's like really well spoken and a great girl. And honestly, I know exactly what he saw in her.
Right.
But sorry, you were still putting your dick where it didn't belong. In me.
Right.
So she knows now, and she's broken up with him, and he's trying real hard to get her back and thinks she's too smart for that. So
Wow.
yeah.
Well, I don't know if that's closure.
So yes,
but that's
it is
something.
closure. It is. And I
you're
think
good?
I think because she and I talked so much and he told her so many lies that didn't even matter. Like, I understand. I'm not condoning, but I understand save my ass lies. Like, when was the last time you talked to your ex? I understand the like, oh, not like for like a month. I don't like it, but I do understand that.
Right.
He told her lies that made no sense at all, had no bearing on their relationship, just random shit.
So he's just a crazy person.
I don't think he's crazy. I think he's a compulsive liar. Like, he would tell her things about me that I was like she actually came to my house. We closed the bar down one night. We went out. We closed one bar down at 11 o'clock, went across the street to this other bar, stayed there till 2. We still had stuff to say, went back to my house till 4:30 in the morning.
What?
She said to me, because I live like down the block, she goes, is this where you guys live together? And I go, yeah. She goes, He told me you didn't have a TV in your bedroom. Just shit like that you're like, why?
Why?
Why? I don't know. She goes, I don't know. He would always be like, yeah, I don't like a TV in the bedroom. I've never had a TV in my bedroom. I like to just, when I'm going to bed, like just random stuff to make himself look better. He told her that in October, he had posted a picture of himself on his buddy's boat with a bunch of hot chicks. And I got really mad and flipped out and called his parents and lied to them and told them he was doing drugs and stuff.
Yeah.
And his parents were like, man, just take it down. I'm like, that literally never happened.
Oh, none of that happened.
No, none of it. Not even like that's not what happened.
Oh.
The picture was of his ex. No picture, no boat, no buddy. Nothing. I was like, are you kidding me? When she told me that, I knocked her drink over because I pounded on the table. I was like, what?
So again,
so yes,
what that
I'm
does
free.
give you is I'm not crazy.
I'm not crazy.
Right.
I mean, like I knew I was like, I can be crazy where I'm like, yes, the Scorpio crazy, which is the typical, I'm very jealous person when you give me a reason to be. And even sometimes not. Like if I just see pictures of your ex and she's smoking hot.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm jealous.
Right.
Am I going to like torture you over it? No.
Yeah.
Might I make snide comments now and then? Absolutely.
But you should be like, oh, I must be like that. Wouldn't it be good that the ex was hot?
That doesn't mean you're hot just because his ex was hot.
It means he's capable of getting hot.
Sure. Okay, great. And I ain't her, which means anytime you can get hot and it's not me. So yes.
Oh, wait, no, it could be I can get hot and you're the hot one I want.
Sure, which is great. And it's an awesome non-Scorpio way to look at it. But that must be your sign rising.
I think Kevin Federline can go out to a bar and get any girl because he got Britney.
That's an interesting way to look at it. I could see that. And like, yeah, sure. But for me personally, I am like, I'm insecure about that. And I'd be like, oh, look at her. Oh my God, she's in this bikini. Her body's amazing. Thinking about what my body looks like. It doesn't look like that. Like I am insecure, but I'm not going to do that to you. I'm going to call my best friend and say that shit to her. And then to you, I'll just be like, I'll be like, yeah. Oh, looks like your ex was in Hawaii this week. Must be nice. And I'll drop it at that. But to my best friend, I'm like, this bitch was in a thong. You should have seen her. Oh my God, I wanted to kill myself. But I'm not going to do that to you. You learn. So I'm not
keep it
crazy.
That's right.
I'm just,
I know.
Right.
There's a lot going on.
Sure. And it's like, so it gave me a big, huge, it slammed the door of clothes. Like I was like, wow. Like,
but whatever this has done, like you have a sparkle in your eye. You look
it answered
healthier.
So many questions for me because she and I sat next to each other and compared to, he would send us the same funny meme at the same time. I was like, wow. She and I just compared notes.
Do you talk about other things or is it all him all the time?
It was literally all him. We had so much to talk about. We FaceTimed for 3 hours the first day, texted for 3 hours the next night, texted for 4 hours the next night, texted for 3 hours the next night.
Oh my God.
Then we met from 9:30 at night till 4:30 in the morning and then have texted or talked in some fashion less, but like, anywhere from like 20 minutes to an hour or so. Pretty much every day since then.
Take a day off from him.
No, it's good. It's good because she's asking me questions. She'll be like, hey, by the way, did this ever happen? I'm like, well, maybe before me. Like, I've even found myself like trying to be like really give him the benefit of the doubt. She's like, did he ever teach boxing to like kids? And I'm like, I mean, maybe before me. She's like, no, he said he had to stop because of COVID. I'm like, yeah, no. Stuff like that,
crazy.
just lies.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Creative
I feel
mind,
so free.
Okay.
And I've never felt so. I mean, I have spent 8 months tortured, crying every single day over him, whether we were still talking in a good place or not, because I would cry knowing that we weren't fully together, whatever. But this, I have to say, I've learned such a big lesson from it. First of all, I was very judgy of her when I first saw her. Mm-hmm. I was like, she's super young. And I just picked out anything that I possibly thought I could pick out about her.
Right.
And like, illuminated it. Like, oh, look at her eyelashes. Meanwhile, her eyelashes look great. But I was like, okay, fake eyelashes. And it's like, yeah, 1 million people have fake eyelashes. And hers actually look really good. So I really learned. And she's like really well spoken and smart and like really sweet and nice. And I could see someone falling for her. Absolutely. And so it really taught me like, do not, because I wanted to be like, okay, this girl thinks he's this, that, and the other thing. And she probably thinks he's such a catch and he's never been married and he doesn't have any kids, but he wants them. And she's probably like, oh my God, he's amazing. And he owns his own place. Meanwhile, she's like, no, like when he asked me to be his girlfriend, I was like, I mean, I guess I thought we were just hooking up, but
Right.
okay, I guess we can try it. Like
Yeah.
I had so many like preconceived notions about her
Yeah.
and all those things that like I'm an idiot and I can't like apologize to her enough and thank her enough for being woman and adult enough
Yeah.
to say, hey, listen, I see some shit you're saying. If you have something to say to me, say it. If not, and you're just like doing this to stir up trouble, can you knock it off? And
Millennials, they're not all bad.
well, I don't even think she's a millennial. I think she's like
below
Gen Y.
millennial. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. She's too young to be a
Yeah.
millennial. Oh, my God.
So I definitely learned a huge lesson from it. And really, it's like really cut the shit. Like the preconceived notions, all it did was like hurt me to jump to conclusions about her because I was like "Arr," about it all the time. And I feel free and happy and I couldn't thank her enough.
Well, this was fun, Jill Kimmel.
Yeah.
That's why we had you back.
Yes.
This is very cathartic.
It so was. And this was fun. I like doing
Right.
this. And you guys want to write in with letters.
And you can catch Jill hosting Jobs We Used to Have podcast coming soon. You got anything to plug?
So if you follow me on Instagram or Twitter, I'll post about it and I'll let you know where I'll be.
And what's your Instagram and Twitter?
It's just
Jill Kimmel.
It's me, Jill Kimmel.
It's me, Jill
on
Kimmel.
both. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. This was good. As far as us, as always, like, share, subscribe, and please review this podcast. Your reviews mean a lot to us. Shoot us. First of all, if you were one of the letters that send us a little more info, especially you, Mark. There's probably women out here listening who want to go out with you if your ex does not take you back.
Mark.
But this is really good, Mark. What was I going to say? Check out our live tour schedule. Yeah. Check it out, greatlovedebate.com. Because as always, at the Great Love Debate, we never stop making love. See you next time.